Hi everyone, and welcome to Tuesday's Tips with Laurie. Today I'm going to share some fun tips and hopefully they'll be very helpful on our September bench buddies. As you can see right here, these are so cute, and I love the framing of this black binding, and it just brings out this Hello Fall so well, and it just pops this glitter right off of this pillow. So I'm going to show you how we go about mitering the corners on the binding right there. And I also wanted to show you a trick on the back of how we're piecing the pillow back together, as well as going over some cutting instructions on the pieced part. And this is called paper piecing if you're doing the sewing version. We call it machine embroidery by number when it's in the hoop. And both of these are very similar. They're done the exact same way. So right here, I was going to just show you, I have it already pre-cut, but when it's in the machine, if it's in the hoop, you see an actual, there's a box that is stitched, and you actually cut right on that stitched line. Don't cut inside or cut outside. If you cut right on it, you will have your exact seams. And for the sewing version, it's the exact same way. There is an actual exact place for you to sew, and then you cut right on those lines. So I'm going to pull this away so that you can see this is what it would look like once it's trimmed. And you can see there's 1/4 inch seams ready right there for you, so that when you're sewing this together, you don't cut off any points of your leaf. So right here I have 2 leaves that are sewn together, and you can see how well these points line up. And then I'm going to actually just try to take a 1/4 inch right there for you. And you can see I'm sewing it together with my fingers right there. You can see how that's going to line up. Those points are going to line up exactly. You can rotate your leaves however you would like. That's a fun way right there. And then once you line this up, you can see this should line up exactly the top and the bottom if you take your seam so it matches these points up. If you take too big of a seam, you're going to lose some of your points. And on the back of this, you can actually see there's a outside stitch line. This outside stitch line is the 1/4 inch seam, so that can also help you if you've got it from the back side. If you're trying to find that seam, it's right there for you. Once you have this all sewn together and you've got your middle, I'll show you this one right here that we've got the middle already sewn together. When we place the back pieces, you place them with the right side facing towards you. So the wrong sides are put together on this pillow. It's treated as if it were a quilt because you're going to add the binding. So what I like to do is I always put my larger piece on last. So I put the underneath piece, which is going to be on the bottom, and then I put the other piece over the top so it's coming down. So let me show you. This is the top of the pillow up here, and so therefore this is the top piece that goes at the top of the pillow. That way when it's finished, I'm going to show you the back of a pillow here, right here. Okay. You can see that we've got the top over the bottom so that when it's sitting on your couch or whatever, that hides and it sits nicely. Gravity just helps with that. That's one of the reasons I like it placed that particular direction. Now let's move on to the binding. So this binding, we sew it on just like we would a quilt binding, and you sew a 1/4 inch seam right along here. When I get to this corner, I will show you how to miter it so that it has this look right here. I love that it has a line that starts from the inside corner and goes to the outside corner, and then when it's wrapped around, it looks like a completely mitered corner front and back. And I'm just going to show you a quick example on this one. You can see it's mitered right here, and you can see it mitered on the front. And look how nice and sharp that looks on the back. Gives it a nice crisp corner, and that's what we are after. So the way we do that is we sew along and we get to this corner, and we're going to stop about a scant 1/4 inch from the corner. And see how we've stopped right there. So you can see that there's you can move this back and forth. The reason we do that, and you'll understand why in just a minute, and then I pinch the corner down here and I fold it back right on itself. And as you can see, it should line up right exactly with the edge of the pillow. Then I'm going to take it, I'm going to pretend like I'm headed down that way. So then I've got this piece right here and it looks mitered. but we can't sew it in that way or we'd catch that one side. So what I do is I pinch this and I pull this piece out from underneath, and so it's pulled up this way. Then when I lay this down flat, it's ready to sew, and I start right here at the top and I sew right straight down. And this does come up a little bit over, but that's exactly what you need. You need a little bit extra so that you can see when I open that corner up, you can see it miters exactly there, and then you can flip it and have enough to miter the back side and still keep your point. If you don't have any extra fabric and you were to cut this too close, let's say you sewed it this way and you went down and you didn't pull this out and you didn't have a little bit extra up here, it rounds the corner. It doesn't give you that nice sharp corner that you'd like. So I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to demonstrate. You're sewing, you stop a scant quarter of an inch from the end, you fold it back on itself, exactly lining up these two edges. You fold it back down as if you were going down. You can put a pin or pinch it with your thumb, pull this extra out and lay it flat, and then you're going to start here right on the edge and sew right straight down. And then when you open this up, you can see that it gives you that mitered corner right there. And that's how I like to miter my corners. If we have any other suggestions or ideas out there, I would love to hear them, and please share. Make your comments below, and we're happy to answer any questions that you might have. And we appreciate you tuning in for Tuesday's Tips this week, and hopefully you will enjoy making these beautiful fall bench buddies. They're just beautiful. I love them so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.